Tonight, two families are united in their remembrance of loved ones lost to sea. When the Japanese sunk the submarine USS Grayback during World War II, dozens of families lost loved ones and were left with what felt like more questions than answers. For two families in our area, the discovery of the submarine on the bottom of the ocean, announced on Veterans Day, it meant everything. It's known as the Silent Service.
I remember just as a kid, my father, just saying, well, we don't know what happened to your grandfather. He said he went out on a submarine and he never came back, and we really don't know what happened to him.
During World War II, U.S. submarines played a critical role. When a Japanese bomber sank the USS Grayback in February 1944, 3 young men from North Carolina were on board, including William C. Hooks of Whiteville and William G. Nicholson of Jacksonville. Their families were forever changed.
My mom, who passed away 11 years ago, she was 88 when she passed away. And she always said he was coming home.
Kenneth Hooks Sr. and his siblings spent their lives looking for more information on their father as their mother missed him. The news on Veterans Day stopped him in his tracks. The USS Grayback found 100 miles from where it was thought to have sunk. Hooks was turning off the morning news, heading out for the day.
And just as I picked up my keys and was reaching for the remote control, I heard the word Grayback, and I turned, and I saw the bow, and then it zoomed in on the plaque. I can't really describe. My wife was still in the bed, and I went back to tell her, and I couldn't speak.
Dave Gardner is the step-grandson of William G. Nicholson. He's wondered about the lost vessel all his life and says the discovery hit him like a slap in the face.
It was like the most happiest, joyous feeling in the world and the most depressing feeling all at the same time.
Gardner's stepfather, Kevin and Kelly Nicholson's father, Doug Nicholson, like Kenneth Hooks, never really knew his father. He was a toddler when the Grayback sank. What do you think your father would think if he was here to see it?
He would be happy. He would be overjoyed to know, I think. Relieved. He'd be relieved.
I'm thinking of what he would say, but you can't put it on
You
the...
can't.
Yeah.
And that was all I could think of was, wow, I just wish my dad could have lived long enough to see that moment.
A moment of closure, 75 years in the making. No amount of time would be enough to tell the full story of each of these families and what the loss of their sailor meant to them at the time and over the last 75 years. But if you're looking for a bit more detail, you can find that online right now at WECT.com. It was a really cool story, Fran, one that I really enjoyed doing and putting together. And like I was saying, if you gave me a half hour, I still would be able to get into more because it's been so long. It's been 75 years.
75 years for families that realistically probably thought it would never happen. And I think Ken Hook's emotions spoke to it a lot in saying that when he saw the plaque, he couldn't describe it.
It stunned him. He said it stunned him. And talking about his mother kind of always saying that her husband was going to come home. I mean, it gives me chills, and I've been talking about it for several weeks now, working on this story, just how much it meant to them.
And the announcement made on Veterans Day.
I know, and both Ken Hooks and his son both went into the Navy. They're both Navy veterans, and his son, Ken Hooks Jr., went into the submarine service because of his grandfather. There's just so much history and lineage, and you can just tell people care. They really, really care.
An incredible story. Thanks for sharing, Anna. And thanks to them for sharing their stories as well. Great news after 75 years.